Hi again, y'all. Well, this is still July the 11th, and I thought maybe I forgot something. I know on the days of our loved ones' birthday or death days, you don't never know what you're gonna do. Everybody do differently. As the years change, we we different. As the time go on. One year you might feel like partying or for them or having a toast for them. One year you feel like just being alone and think about them. And that's what my daughter and I were talking about. My daughter Ebony. I didn't hear from my other two daughters today. It is my mother's birthday and my son's birthday, James' birthday. But it's okay. Wherever they are, they know what day it is. And you can always think that it's going to mean a lot to everyone, but you got to remember, I know another young mother, my niece, Darnell, she remember, I see she be posting stuff about her Danny, because we going to be with it whether anybody is with it or not. But the mothers, now the sisters too, but Ebony was so much like James. I'm serious, excuse me for moving around, but she was so much like James. I had a picture of her and James before he went away for 9 months. It was early one morning and he hugged her and took the picture with her. It's like James kind of, those 9 months, he turned into a little man. He was young, he looked so young, but he went in there and when he came home, he done got his eats on and he was heavy and he then start growing a mustache and, you know. But it's the eve of my mother and my son's birthday. It's July the 11th, 2026, and it's like 8:30 p.m. now. The day is almost done. I need to say, well, now for James killers, they did get 10 to 20, but they back out. They've been out at 10. They still could be with their family and have the earthly birthdays, but James and my other two sons, they won't never have an earthly birthday no more. My mother, she was 96. She was pretty much, she had a fruitful age, but for my sons, none of them reached 20. Same way they left was the same order they came in was the same order they left out of this world. And that's a hurt piece too. But something so important to me. Today I've been cooking. I tried making a homemade apple pie and barbecue potato salad, and I'm only one gonna be eating it. I thought my granddaughters might come over. My great granddaughter Crystal, I thought her sister might bring her over, but I don't know. But anyway, long story ain't short with me. But the last time I seen my son alive, I rode him to Duquesne Place by the back gate. Everybody used to go in the back gate to go into the place. So, excuse me, he was with two guys that I never felt comfortable with James with those guys. I just didn't. It's something a mother can pick up before anybody else. And anyway, James was with them, and I was got a cough. I'm sorry, but James was with them, and he thought they was cool. They were two cousins he was hanging with, and so I rode them to the back gate at the Duquesne Place apartment, Hilltop apartment, whatever. But when James got out the car, I always used to call my boys back as soon as they get out my car. I used to always, as soon as they get out, hey Harry, hey Dawn, James. So this day, I, uh, James they all got out. When he was walking away, I called him back. And then I had one leg out of my car and one leg in. Door open, driver's side. I said, man, give me a hug. So James had a beautiful wide smile when he smiled. And he leaned down and he gave me a hug. And I remember his key dangling from his neck. He had a key that he had got from his niece, Renisha, to her apartment. and it was dangling off of his neck and on that little string. And I remember that. And when he leaned down to give me a hug, I just caught my attention about the little key dangling from his neck. And before I know it, when I lift up my head a little bit, he kissed me right in my mouth. And when I made that song, Murder, the anti-violence songs, I said, um, first, I said the last hug and the first kiss. As I drove away that day, I felt so startled. But that's something that's you never know when the last time you're gonna see someone. I'm going on. I can't think about one without thinking about all of them. But I'm just saying with Harry, what I told him, I said, you better come back here tonight. Don't go up there that party, be drinking all that beer and get drunk. You better come back here tonight. And the last thing he said to me was, Mom, is today Mother's Day? He knew it wasn't. It was Friday. And he was, asking me was Mother's Day. I think he was just messing with me because he knew I was waiting on this gift that he said was going to be better than his sister's. But nevertheless, the last thing I told him, he better come back. And I don't know, some say, oh, that ain't real, that ain't true. Well, a girl told me, she said that when she seen Harry laying there, she went over there and said that he was struggling trying to say something. And what he did say was, tell my mom I love her. I want to believe that. Well, yeah, people always got to say, oh, this ain't real. No, but I told Harry to come back, and I was close to my children, especially my sons. And I believe when he seen he wasn't going to come back, I can see him saying that. And with Dawn, that morning, I know with him, I know Dawn was just lost without his brothers. And I can remember him walking away real slow. And I looked through my rear view mirror. And it's just like, I know I had did a little segment about the last door. Did you ever think of your loved one? What was the last door you seen them by? I think of everything because it'll never leave my mind. Like I said, James was my live child. He is my only son that ever kissed me on my lips. I was startled when I drove away. But that's the last time I seen my son, James Phillip Jones, alive. I talked with him several times. He would call home because he was supposed to be in academy. And I told him, I said, come on, man, just come on and go to academy and get it over with. And he said, Mom, why you always saying that? I said, because you didn't come yet. But that day, when he didn't call me, that Sunday, it felt strange, but the next time I seen my son, he was lifeless. And as I walked towards that room where they was taking us to, it wasn't even no windows in this hallway, and I felt a cool breeze go over my head. And it felt, and I thought about it later, like maybe he was waiting on me to come, like my brother Dawn was waiting on my mother. But nobody else felt it. Wasn't no windows there. I know what I felt when we was almost to his deceased body. I felt cool wind just go right over me down the hallway. But all the thing, I thank God that I had James for 17 long years. I say that because I don't regret not one moment with him. And every memory, good, bad, sad, whatever, I cherish it. And if you a James friend out there, still can, a few, like Harry said, a few good men, cherish the time that y'all spent together. James was my loud child. And if you ever was with him, you know that when he said a lot of things loud. So I just want to say rest in peace, son. Rest in peace, my mom, Luella Coward. Rest in peace, y'all. Happy heavenly birthday. I said it, and I meant it. You never know what you're going to do, but God will bring you through. But don't forget your loved ones. I don't think they need to be forgot.